Waiting to buy a home? The Churchill Mortgage team says now is a great time to buy. Waiting could be a costly mistake because when rates drop, new home buyers will flood the market, driving up home prices. Go to churchillmortgage.com for your free analysis and see how home values can outpace rates to help you build wealth over time faster. This is a paid advertisement. NMLS ID 1591, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, Equal Housing Lender, 1749 Mallory Lane, Suite 100, Brentwood, Tennessee 37027.
Times are old, in times of new, there's a guide to follow to make it through. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
Hello and welcome, our amazing listeners, to the Pop Culture Field Manual podcast, sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and
Pop culture. Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
man, I stepped on
that
you.
was mine. No, you stepped on
You
me
sounded
every
like a
day.
samurai. Were you doing a whole samurai
I
thing?
was trying to do a samurai impression. Because that's what we're going to talk about today.
man.
I'm excited for this one because even though I don't know jack shit about samurais, I really respect them.
You love anything having to do with the warrior way.
I'm a big warrior culture
You are.
fanatic.
That's basically Bushido is the way of the warrior.
Yeah. Like, I know nothing about, like, what's required to be a samurai. Like, obviously, honor and tradition are, like, their foundations.
Yeah. Also, being born in Japan between 11 and 1800s.
Yeah, that would help. That would probably put you in a better position. You know, if I wanted to pursue that nowadays, it probably would not be realistic. But that's a different conversation. Today's episode is all about samurais, movies involving samurais, video games, wet dreams involving samurais. You name it, we're going to talk about it today.
Any and all Final Fantasies involving samurai.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's. You want to dive into the history real quick? Izzy?
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome back to the show, Chris.
Oh yeah, how could I forget?
Say something, Chris.
Hello, guys. Hi. Well, I'm back.
Nice, perfect.
I'm
Chris moved to
150% more disembodied now.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. Because of you. We do this for you, folks. We want you to get the full disembodied experience with Chris. So he moved 3 states away so that he can be even more disembodied.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For you, our loyal fans, we sacrifice. So,
I was going to say, Chris, I love the history that you gave. There's some great notes that you put in here, like the basis, like we were talking about, of samurai conduct is Bushido, which is the way of the warrior. Is a unique philosophy that valued honor, reckless behavior if it was bravery, and selflessness, as well as duty to the warrior's master, and the purpose of giving up one's life and embracing death. There was no place for fear in the way of the warrior, and this conduct of self-discipline and respectful ethical behavior was to become the role model behavior for the other classes throughout Japanese history. So they held a high place, an honorable place. They weren't just like warriors, they were also like learned men, they were like poets and scholars and all that kind of stuff.
they were gentlemen. They were Asian gentlemen.
Yeah, they were like kind of like being a knight, really. Because knights weren't just like warrior dudes; they were also like very well read, and typically, I guess, maybe historically. But
and I mean, going on that, there's an ancient saying we have inspired by warriors was, I'm gonna try not to butcher this.
Just say it confidently.
Okay. Bon du.
Yeah. You say it like a drunk Frenchman, but that's really cool.
Which translates to the pen and sword in accord. And it was common for samurai to enjoy calligraphy, which is fancy schmancy writing.
Yep.
Very cool. Tea ceremony, poetry, music, and to study. So not only are they deadly with the blade, they could also learn you something.
That's right. It could be deadly with their minds. Synonymous with the samurai bravery is the katana.
Yes.
Or the samurai sword. And Bushido dictated that this curved, slender blade was the soul of a warrior. Images of samurai depict them with their masterfully crafted weapons of war, together with the shorter blade, which is the wakizashi. This pair, known as the daisho, represented the social status and personal honor of the samurai.
It's very interesting. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Because you'd always see him rocking 2 swords, long sword, short sword, but I didn't understand. So does that mean, like, if you have 2 katanas that are both equal size, you were like a rich guy and
You're like
a deadly warrior?
You're like the Darth Maul of the samurai world.
But what if, like, you have a really small You think they made fun of each other? Oh,
Of
you
their
know,
small-
Izzy's
just
got a
equated
really
it to penis size.
small wakizashi over there. That guy sucks.
Yeah. Well, the swords, we know, I mean, we've heard a lot about like sword, like the crafting of swords.
Yeah.
That like, the folded steel and how much care and crafting like they
Yeah,
put
Japanese steel is
Japanese steel.
like chef blades nowadays. If you got a Japanese steel knife, it's like you got the kitty's titties.
Yeah,
knives.
it's like it's the high end. Ronin which is something of a term probably. If you've ever watched a movie or played a video game, you're probably familiar with the term Ronin. But samurai without a lord, a masterless samurai during the feudal period, 1885 to around 1868 in Japan. Samurai became masterless upon the death of his master, or after the loss of his master's favor or privilege.
That's kind of interesting because like when I read that definition of Ronin, I think of like mercenary, type of thing.
Yeah,
But they don't get paid. So like if your lord dies, you just like never
you become
have enough.
Yojimbo in a
you just have
Kurosawa film.
You just like just walk around with a small wakizashi.
Yeah, they must have like either become mercenaries or robbers, or maybe they found a different master to go and serve.
Are you allowed to serve another master?
I'm sure. I mean,
do you think they like look for Ronins? They're like, "Are you a Ronin?" Nah, man.
Yeah, no, get him.
Yeah, get him. He's a Ronin.
No, I don't know. I don't know. It must have been. I'm imagining, knowing what I know about samurai, like for your master to die. It must have been like this really disgraceful thing, or like a sad thing, like because your whole purpose in life was to live with honor and serve your master.
Yeah,
and that must have been like a crossroads. I wouldn't be surprised if like maybe some of them like maybe committed seppuku, like committed suicide.
Yeah, well, that was very common because they didn't fear death, and like death was like the ultimate way to replenish your honor.
Yeah,
so there's dudes,
at least they could do. It's very Klingon.
Yeah,
or I guess Klingons are very samurai.
Yeah. And their masters were, a lot of the times, they were called daimyo, and they were powerful Japanese magnates. I don't know what that means. What's a magnate?
I think it was like a ruler.
A ruler? Okay. Feudal lords who often hired samurai to guard their land, and they paid the samurai in land or food, as relatively few could afford to pay samurai in money, which is interesting, because if you're a daimyo, pretty sure you'd be wealthy.
Yeah, I wonder. Well, I wonder if your whole life is being a samurai, do you really need a whole lot of money? Because you probably live under their roof, you eat their food, you serve them. They probably give you a horse or whatever.
Yeah, I wonder like how the social that I'm sure it has to do a lot of traditional Japanese culture as far as like hierarchy of like families. Mm-hmm. Like, as a samurai, would you ever want to aspire to be a master, or are you fine in your servitude?
Yeah,
like I wonder how they dealt with that. They're like, Cameron wants to be better. You better stop it.
Yeah, you better stop aspiring to other things.
Aspire to be like the
samurai.
Master. Yeah,
I would imagine being a samurai at the height of their popularity and fame would be like, probably that's what you would aspire to be as a samurai. And then if you were like maybe you were leader born into royalty and you're just a leader, you're probably like, maybe you like, I secretly wish I was a samurai. I don't know.
Yeah. Like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, exactly. And which we will talk about, of course.
Okay.
Folks, there's a lot of stuff that we could talk about when it comes to samurais and pop culture. We're going to take a big section of time, or we'll see how big a section, depending on how much we can talk about. But the name Akira Kurosawa is synonymous with the samurai film, the samurai, because a lot of his stuff has been taken and used for other things, like the popular one, Seven Samurai, which is a 1950s movie.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now.
That was remade into The Magnificent Seven, and then also remade again into The Magnificent Seven. But it's like things like that. And then if you know Yojimbo, which is a 60s movie, Akira Kurosawa, that was made into A Fistful of Dollars. So basically same storyline, but they made it into a Western. Yeah. So let's talk about Akira Kurosawa for a little while. Let me ask you, Cameron, what Kurosawa movies have you filmed? Have you watched it, if at all?
None.
None?
Oh. I'm terrible. I'm reading here. It says in big bold letters, Akira Kurosawa, biggest name in samurai pop culture, and I'm over here like, yeah, have you ever seen The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise? Great movie.
Well, the funny thing is even if you haven't seen a Kurosawa film, you have probably seen
a movie with the Kurosawa like
something inspired by. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like I said, they did a lot of spaghetti westerns that were not a lot.
I mean, I think I've seen The Seven Samurai because the premise of it sounds very familiar, unless there's another movie I'm thinking about, and
Is
which
it?
I doubt it.
Is the movie you're thinking of The Magnificent Seven?
Probably.
Because that one was made twice, you know.
Okay, it might have been a new because there's a newer version. I would say that I have seen that one
I actually was even we can talk about this, but I
because they want to protect the town from bandits.
yeah,
right?
basically the town, bandits, and then they go out and they find these gunfighters and stuff to protect their town. It's just like I can either let you borrow. I got the DVD, or you can just find it on streaming service. But I would definitely recommend. I've seen Seven Samurai. I've seen Yojimbo. But actually, those are the only two Kurosawa films that I've actually seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what else do? I mean, I see out here on his discography, got like Yojimbo. Have you seen Yojimbo?
Yeah, I've seen Yojimbo. Yeah, Yojimbo and Seven Samurai. Yojimbo's great because that actor, forget his name. Chris, do you know?
Oh, he did 13 Assassins.
Yeah, that's a.
Well, no, I'm sorry.
No, that's further down. That's Takashi Miike, I think.
Yeah, my bad.
Who's done a fair amount of samurai stuff too.
Yeah.
Takashi Miike is, if you don't know, he's done a fair amount of film. Period. He makes like 7 films a year. It's crazy.
Jesus, like the Asian Nick Cage.
Yeah, he just only on the directing side, he's a crazy dude. But yeah, man, Yojimbo's awesome because that actor
Toshiro Mifune.
Yeah, Toshiro Mifune. There you go. He's just a master samurai. He's a Ronin.
Yeah.
And he's wandering around looking for work, and he comes into this town where these two families are fighting against each other, and they both try to recruit him at one point or another, and he gets kind of wrapped up in the drama of it all, and ends up being betrayed by one of them, and then by both of them, and then he kind of does his own thing, and then he ends up just...
Does he slaughter?
He ends up like ruining the entire town, like all the families, they all just get slaughtered and crushed and stuff like that.
That's cool, dude. That sounds fun. That sounds like a movie I would like to watch.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
It's literally a fistful of dollars, and then Last Man Standing, which was the terrible Bruce Willis remake.
Oh, that's right, the Bruce Willis film. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, same kind of thing. You know.
Oh, so Yojimbo means bodyguard.
Does Yojimbo mean bodyguard in Japanese, or I thought that was just his name?
No, I'm not.
Japanese for the bodyguard, which was made in Fistful of Dollars. Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah,
That's
and then
awesome.
Seven Samurai. You really got to watch the Seven Samurai one because what I like about it is you get to know the characters as they go. And like one of them, I think it's Toshiro Mifune, who plays this. He's like a younger dude who like doesn't really have any loyalties, and he just cares about himself. And then by the end, he actually ends up caring about the other guys. And then you get to know these guys, and then they start dying while defending the town. And it's a cool little like emotional journey for you, you know.
That's cool, man. I know there's a lot of samurai stuff in pop culture, and if you've been a fan or if you've been a listener of this podcast in the past, you know I fucking love the show Deadliest Warrior.
Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. The samurai. Do you remember the samurai episode of that one?
What was the samurai versus?
I believe.
Was it a ninja?
No, it wasn't versus ninja. Let me confirm here. They fought the Vikings.
Oh, samurai versus Vikings.
That's a great one.
Huh?
Which I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure the Vikings won.
Oh,
even though
interesting.
And I think it's just because of a armor thing.
Oh, they won because of the armor, like limiting the samurai's movements or something? Because the samurai had more armor than the Vikings, don't they?
But the samurai was, let's see, excuse me, but the reason the samurai lost, I think, was because their armor was like made of it wasn't made of metal.
Oh. Cam, you have to get this exactly right for all of those Deadliest Warrior super fans that listen to the podcast.
I know there's a crap ton of... Oh, no, never mind. The Viking and Samurai episode, the winner was a samurai.
Hey!
Yeah, because they were better trained warriors. That's why. Regardless, I know that was kind of a hiccup because like a lot of the weapon systems that the Vikings used just ripped through the samurai armor.
Okay. Yeah.
But like the samurai were just better fighters.
Ah, cool.
More trained.
You're
welcome. Chris, I know I didn't want to disappoint the thousands of Deadliest Warrior Deadliest Warrior diehards that listen to this podcast.
Probably Clay Van Sickle.
Clay's listening to it. He's like, it was the samurai.
Yeah, he's yelling at his radio right now. He's like, why do I have a radio?
Yeah, literally. But yeah, that was a good episode because their weapons were really cool. They didn't just use katanas. They also used bows.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was great. And they also used spears.
Oh, right on.
Oh, yeah, no, they had a whole array of different weapons. I think just the katana was like their like they said, the soul of the warrior.
Yeah.
And then partnered with the Wakazashiv, which was the short sword, but they also had the Tanto. Remember
the knife?
Yeah, the knife.
Okay.
And then the
Chris Tanto
Naginata, the Naginata, which was the long bladed pole, and then the Yumi, which was the ancient Japanese longbow.
Nice.
This was an interesting one. I've never heard of this. It's a kabutuwari, which is a skull breaking knife. I want to look at the name.
Skull breaking knife. That sounds like a good marketing
It sounds like
tool.
a coconut knife. Like
Don't just get a knife, get a
Karimbit.
skull breaking knife.
That is. Oh man, that thing looks gnarly.
Maybe we'll get a screen capture.
Yeah,
of
a little screen capture of one. But yeah, that's super cool. So they didn't just use katanas; they're very versatile warriors. So I mean, they're really good at long engagements with the yami. Is it the yami or yani? I forgot. But the bow, that thing was cool, man. But yeah, just had to throw that Deadliest Warrior Samurai reference in there just because it's Deadliest Warrior.
You got to get that in there. What I love is, he's even. I was just about to say this, Chris. Another Kurosawa film, The Hidden Fortress, has been. It's been George Lucas has used it as kind of maybe the basis for the main beats in the first Star Wars movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's about a samurai and a princess who are like they're I think their castle gets like overrun or something like that, and they go into hiding and stuff like that, and they meet these two little like Weasley kind of street dudes that are just like poor and that's kind of like that's supposed to be kind of like C-3PO and R2-D2 kind of thing, They're always whining about their plight in life, and things like that. Initially from the point of view of two bumbling, quarrelsome civilians who are lured into the thick of a war zone by the promise of gold, the story soon finds them running afoul of two opposing clans. It
seems like opposing clans is a common theme.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of opposing clans in Japan.
The Japanese like to fight each other.
It's the feudal period. I feel like there was a lot of different rulers that were all vying for power for hundreds of years, Toshiro Mifune also in that movie as well. I would like to see that. That's one I have not seen, but it's kind of one of those classics that, if George Lucas thought it was good enough to use it. What's that?
Hidden Fortress?
Hidden Fortress, yeah.
I'll check that one out. That one's cool. One movie that I believe I've seen, but it's been so long that I remember it. And because it has Keanu Reeves inside of it, that's weird to say. Inside of the movie.
That's technically accurate.
Yeah. Featured in the film. 47 Ronin.
Oh, yeah, I want to see this movie.
It looks like cool as hell.
I would really enjoy.
I think it reminds me because it's all like super. You know how a lot of Japanese like Chinese action movies have like all the wire dancing and stuff.
Yeah, super
eccentric and fantasy type of fighting. Yeah. I think it combines, if I remember correctly, like black powder and the Japanese. So like using guns along with their traditional one.
Okay,
which is kind of cool. Kind of gives me a Sucker Punch vibe. You ever watch Sucker Punch?
Yeah, that hyper reality kind of thing. Yeah,
I love that movie. That thing is so cool.
Sucker Punch is awesome.
Yeah, and it I'm pretty sure it gives me that vibes from like the way it films. Like it's super like, I don't know, out there.
What's the basic story? Oh, I didn't know there was an original one.
Yeah, it was a remake.
It's actually it's a true story.
Is it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. Here, I'll give you the.
It's a legend. In Japanese culture.
It's a legend.
Oh,
legend
cool.
of the 47 Ronin. It's pretty much in feudal Japan, Lord Asano rules his province with fairness. However, jealous Lord Kira, who's played by Tadanobu Asano, fears that the shogun favors Asano over him and I don't know what that means. Okay, never mind. Asano over him and hatches a plot that ends with Asano's ritual suicide. After Asano's death, his samurai led by Oishi, which is Haruyoki Sanada, are forced to live as outcasts. Oishi wanders for several years, but realizes he must return to Kai, which is Keanu Reeves, a mixed-blood warrior he once rejected to help him and his Ronin comrades take revenge on Lord Kira.
Nice.
Yeah, so I definitely want to rewatch this movie because it's like out there and it's all actiony and super cool. And it has Keanu Reeves and he can do no wrong. He's like the Chick-fil-A of the acting world.
I love that. I would like to see it as well, man.
Yeah, dude, it looks super cool. So I definitely want to check it out again. But movies that I actually recently watched about samurai, and this is a pretty basic one because it's just front and center on Netflix all the time. But The Last Samurai,
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yeah. I love that movie. It's good.
First one I ever saw Ken Watanabe in. And Hiroyuki Sanada, I'd never seen him before either, but he's been in a ton of stuff before and since, actually.
No,
he's in so many samurai movies. As I was doing research for this, his name came up like 10 times, and I was like, I guess when you have a thing.
Yep.
Yeah, if
that's
you're good
like
at something,
his. That's like being a
it.
cop with, Mark Wahlberg. That's his Mark
Hiroyuki
Wahlberg.
Sanada, right? That's the one you're talking about? Yeah, this dude just looks like a samurai guy.
Yeah.
He's just a samurai guy.
Yep.
Yeah, you could not cast this guy if you were making a movie about
He was
samurai.
even in the new Mortal Kombat, he was Scorpion.
Oh, yeah, he's Scorpion.
Is he Scorpion?
He comes back with like a bunch of samurai armor on. Yeah.
Damn, that's nuts. Yeah, it comes back with a samurai. That's
all.
awesome.
That has nothing to do with.
Yeah,
Scorpion.
no, that dude is super samurai. But yeah, the Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, I like that movie just because the final battle still pumps me up.
Yeah.
Because like it's not like, I don't think it's corny. I don't think it's cheesy. I think it's like, we're gonna die for this fucking because we're brave, man.
And like they do that last charge at the Gatling guns, and they just all get blown away.
Yeah.
And
I like how
Ken
Tom
Watanabe's-
Cruise. I like Tom Cruise's character development in there.
Yeah, he definitely goes through a big change of basically leaving America behind and betraying his nation and stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Patriot as a traitor. And just kills Americans.
No, it's cool. No, he has a great. He gets broken down. He believes in nothing. He's totally cynical because he's seen kind of like the darker side of like.
Or he's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like what is it, Custer? Yeah, he was serving with Custer, and so
stop?
he's like cynical and stuff. And he
Run down the Native Americans with the Henry rifle chambered in.
yeah, exactly. Yep. He's all drunk in the beginning. Doesn't care.
Pointing guns at
He
people.
finally finds something to believe in, and he ends up kind of giving himself and going before the emperor and be like, "I'm going to serve you now." At the very end.
But still, the whole thing is that he embodied the warrior spirit, which I'm like, that's why I'm like super jazzed about samurais.
Yeah,
because like they noticed it, at the when he's training all the Japanese Continental Army. They're like all in formation and everything, and they're like running away because the samurai are charging, and samurai's doing work on them, even though modern technology and like actual like rifles and shit, but they're still slaughtering these guys just because they're so fearful and hardcore warriors. But when they like lose the first battle, when Tom Cruise didn't get captured yet, he's like fighting off 5 samurais with like literally a calf sword. Yeah, and he's like fucking them up, and the guy's like, yeah, that guy, that's a warrior. So that's cool, man. It's like that's one of the anthropology things that were we talking about this episode? Was it last episode? I think it was last episode.
Oh, Joseph Campbell.
Joseph
kind of
Campbell, which is like there's differences even though in cultures, but there's those one human things, and I think that's why the warrior spirit is so fucking cool. Because like if you look at the samurai, if you look at modern day soldiers, if you look at any of the the Native American. The Apache warriors, the Europeans,
Crusader warriors,
the Crusaders, literally the Shaka Zulu's warriors.
Yep.
Like it's all the same.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter.
Mindset.
Yeah, the warrior mindset. That's one thing that didn't change. So that's why I like samurai so much.
Yeah, the Last Samurai is really great. I remember, man, where was I? That must have been right 2003. That was when I graduated from college. But that scene where he is in the street and he's like got some training, and those dudes try to ambush him. And he just takes them all out, and like it's like one take. He just slices them all up, and then he slices that dude's like talking to him. He's on his knees. He's like, "You're gonna die horribly." And Tom Cruise like slices his head, and he doesn't. Nothing happens, but the guy falls over, and then his head kind of falls off. He's like sliced. It was like such a clean.
Yeah,
break,
they like would. What's the story about how well a katana is made? Because like they would call them like 3 pig katanas, 4 pig katanas, and it was like. Or a body. It was like, how many bodies can this katana slice through clean? So like, if you call it like a 6-body blade, you're like, that's a good sword.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that was like a form of measurement. I know in like, we'll talk about this a little bit later, but in like Ghost of Tsushima, there's like tests you can do where they have like, can you cut through 4 bamboos, 6 bamboos, 8 bamboos without stopping? So things like that. I don't know. There was like body blades. I like that morbid form of measurement.
Yeah. I'm trying to find. Is it called tamashigiri? Maybe that's the Japanese art of cutting. Yeah, tamashigiri on convicted criminal. Yeah, they would literally. Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, they would try him out on convicted criminals.
Yeah,
oh, no.
I was like, that's a good sword. You're like,
criminal.
this is a 6-body sword. You're like, whoa. That's a sharp sword. Yeah, dude, that's metal.
That's awesome.
That's super cool, dude. Let's see. What else do we got here? What about some video games? I know you always talk about Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, we totally talk about that, man. Ghost of Tsushima came out a couple years ago. I forget what year it came out, but that's kind of based on a true story too. It's basically about the Mongols attacking this small island of Tsushima, which I think is just off the coast of Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And the game itself is it's like a full-fledged experience. Like there's nothing lacking in this game. And I think it won a couple of major like Game of the Year awards and stuff. But yeah, you're the main character, and he, oh man, now I'm forgetting the main character's name. But you guys are yelling at your radios right now.
Like, what? You piece of shit.
Yeah, you don't know anything. Yeah, so basically, like, your forces get decimated right at the beginning, and you have to basically go around doing missions and all that kind of stuff, and helping people. You build up your skills. But then there's also like kind of a story. Jin Sakai is the main character. There's kind of a story of like he starts learning like other ways of like, because he's all about Bushido and like stand up fight, right? You call it out. You don't sneak around. You don't stab people in the back. That's what thieves do.
Yeah, that's ninja shit.
Yeah, then he starts using those ways, and then he's like conflicted within himself. He's like, I'm being dishonorable, but it's also kind of working, a little bit.
Yeah.
And so there's like a bit of I haven't finished playing the game. I know I need to. It came out 2 years ago. I'm way behind, folks. But so there's like that kind of journey, and you take it like in sections. You have the lower part of the island, and the middle part, and the top part. And it's just a super cool experience. It's free roaming. It's open world.
Like
you go around
Skyrim, kind of like
exactly.
For samurai.
You can ride your horse all around, the island, and you can do little side missions. Like I'm trying to 100% the first part of the island before I go up to the next part. And it's just really fun. You can make haikus. You can pet little foxes. It's a cute little fox you can pet, and it's just beautiful too. They did a remaster or like an update for like the PS5, and it's just like or I think it may be like a director's cut, but it's just beautiful, man. And they're also, I think they're making a movie, and I think if I'm not mistaken, I think that they're getting the same actor who played Jin Sakai in the game to just be Jin Sakai in the movie. Because he's like, well, you're the guy. You played the character, so why not just do it for the live-action movie?
That's cool, man. I got to check that out, because I know I hear you talk about it. When we do Shift Fire, all the production team, they're like, yeah, playing Ghost of Tsushima and whatnot. I mean, if we want to talk about something in pop culture that we grew up with, or at least I grew up with in my times, Samurai Jack.
Samurai Jack. I remember Samurai Jack.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome show. Him and, what was the guy's name? Oh,
it's Ku. It's the guy who does the voice, of the bad guy. But
Aku, Aku, the
evil wizard. He's like a demon or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like a time travel.
He's an evil wizard, and basically so after being sent into the future by evil wizard Aku, young Samurai Jack makes a quest to return to the past and undo destruction caused by the wizard. Along the way, Jack enlists allies to defeat some of Aku's henchmen and other villains before getting to the top dog to defeat him and find the portal that can return Jack to his own time. Samurai Jack was created by Gennady Tartakovsky.
Nice. Yeah, I remember that. I actually didn't watch too much Samurai Jack, but I remember that it had a cool style. Had very stylized animation, stylized music, and stuff like that. And it went for a while, 60-some episodes.
Yeah, TV series, 2001 to 2017. I'm pretty sure they brought it back for a little bit. But this was like one of the best shows that Cartoon Network ever made. Mm-hmm. Now they're doing whack shit. Like I would not let my kids watch Cartoon Network like in this day and age.
They've gone off the rails, man. They're just into some weird stuff over there at Cartoon Network,
Yeah, super
not just
weird.
the Adult Swim anymore,
Yeah, I think the catalyst for making Cartoon Network weird shit was Adventure Time, and then everything just went afterwards. But yeah, Samurai Jack was one of those shows I stayed up late to because it was like kind of adult vibey, but still was meant for children.
Yeah,
that was an awesome show that samurais were featured in.
Something else I want to talk about, going back to the video games real quick, is that there's two games that I played growing up. One arcade game, and then one was a home game. But Samurai Showdown, both fighting games actually. Samurai Showdown, fighting game. I think it was a Neo Geo game. There's some really good Neo Geo games you played at the arcade. But
what's a Neo Geo?
Neo Geo was a system, a video game system that it was known for really good graphics, but it only ever had cartridges. But the cartridges were like half a foot long. They were like huge, and they big chunky things. And they were like $80 a piece, and this was back in like the 90s, when a game would be like $30. Mm-hmm. They were known for that very kind of niche, but also really amazing graphics. But I don't think they made the leap to like CD and DVD kind of technology and stuff. But Samurai Showdown, great fighting game, all samurai based kind of characters and stuff like that. Super hard. I never got. It was always quantity over quality when it came to like playing that game, because I would always spend like $5 to $10 just trying to beat that game, and it rarely ever happened. The other one was the rage-inducing Bushido Blade for the PS2, PS1,
Rage-inducing? Why?
Because unlike other fighting games, which had like you had a life bar, and every time you hit them, no matter where you hit them, it would just some attacks were strong or weak, and it would eat away at the health bar, and then you would win. This one was they wanted to kind of base it in like samurai style fighting, which sword fights don't last very long. You know what I mean? You hack and slash somebody, it's over pretty quick. Well, that was what this game was like. If you did the right move, you'd instantly win. And so it was like, it's like cool. You're ready for a fight, and they do one move, or maybe they do the same move over and over because they're button mashers, and then they just kill you like right away. They just slice your head off, and slice your guts out or whatever, and that was it. That was kind of the unique aspect of that game, is that instant kills.
When did that game come out?
It was like PS2, I think, PS1, PS2. So
was it like
late.
Was it like third person?
Late 90s. Yeah, it was third person, like a 3D side scrolling kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
A 3D fighter game, a lot like
just clenching fists, breaking remotes.
Yeah, man. I should have never played any of those games when I was a kid. I was not mature enough.
Damn.
Nowadays I can win with a little more grace, but a
little bit of pizzazz, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I know. I don't know why I didn't write this down, but it just popped in my head now. Thinking of anime for samurai, like Bleach.
Oh,
like
Bleach.
They're all pretty much samurai.
Okay. Even though I've never seen Bleach.
You should. It's really, really, really good.
One of those animes that's been running for like 10 years or something?
Yes, and they're actually making new episodes.
Wow.
I heard they're coming out with new episodes. But yeah, there's like over how many episodes do they have of Bleach? It's like definitely over 300. I've watched them all.
Rurouni Kenshin, folks. I'm just going to throw that out there. Tell me about Rurouni Kenshin. I know it's about a samurai. I know I've heard that title many times in my time online. So let me know about it. Why should I watch it? Why is it a great series? Let me know. Is that a newer series, Rurouni Kenshin? I feel like it's...
Yeah, there's 366 episodes of Bleach.
That's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, dude, it's been a long time, but that's an awesome show. It's like Death Eater. Is it Death Eaters? No, I'm sorry, that's Harry Potter. Why am I blanking? Soul Reapers. They're Soul Reapers. Yeah, and they're like almost
in Bleach.
Yeah, okay. So that's what they are, and they like have swords that have names, and they have special powers, and like they have something called a bunkai, which is like their sword's ultimate power, and there's these things called, and each sword is different.
Oh, okay.
So like, and then when you say your sword's name, it like changes the sword. Oh. So like everybody has like a different power, and like the bunkai will like change.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's like this one guy, I think his name is Renji, and his sword is like, it starts with a Z or something. And this is all coming off the top of the zone, and it's like starts out regular samurai sword, and then he says his name, and it becomes this giant like axe looking section thing that like he can like throw the sword at people, and it extends and like wraps around them and like cuts them into pieces.
Wow.
Yeah, it's super cool. And then when he says the bunkai, the sword becomes like the biggest thing on the planet, and it turns into this like rattlesnake section bones that like literally go and attacks. It like has a jaw and everything. Wow. Like it's super cool. And there's these demons called hollows that they have to go kill, and like there's King of the Hollows that are like, there's a lot of stories, but super cool. That is kind of samurai-y, even though there's nothing to do with samurais, but it's like all katanas and swords and stuff.
Well,
so
if we're getting into like samurai-ish type stuff, this is like, it didn't go anywhere. I don't think it's very popular, and I don't think it's all that good of a movie, but there's a movie called Ghost Dog, The Way of the Samurai, starring Forrest Whitaker. He was I forget who he played, but he was in Rogue One. He was the black guy with the robotic legs that just decides to like stay on.
Yeah.
Guy, Yeah.
It's
like, who will you become? That guy.
Yeah.
That's Forrest Whitaker. And when he was younger, he was in this movie called Ghost Dog, and he's basically
Saul
hitman.
Guerrero. That's his name.
Saul Guerrero. Yeah, Saul Guerrero. Thank you. Yeah, he played Saul Guerrero, but in this movie, he's like a modern day hitman, like in New York or whatever. But he follows the way of Bushido, the way of the samurai.
Yeah. Oh my God, this looks terrible.
It's not a very good movie.
I like Izzy. Even in the notes, she put a synopsis, a short synopsis. Forrest Whitaker plays a hitman who models his life after the way of Bushido, and then the very next sentence is, "It's not very good."
I just wanted to put that in there.
It's not there. It's not very good at all.
One of the things that I remember.
Is it
from
serious
that movie,
or is it a comedy?
It's a serious movie.
Oh,
but
man.
there's parts of it that are like, I know you meant for that to be serious, but it's actually kind of comical. But like, there's, you know how like the samurai do like the whip thing, like they whip their sword and then they like put it back into their sheath,
they got to
like, really,
they got to clean the blood off,
yeah,
and then
they like put it right at the tip and they like slide it
Yeah.
in. He like has a gun with a silencer and he like does this wavy thing where he waves it around and then puts it into his sheath, into his holster,
Yeah.
and it looks really dumb.
oh my god,
I'm like,
come on,
that's
dude.
not what it means to be a samurai. You know?
Yeah,
Like,
you know,
it's
it's
not
more like the code, not
yeah, don't like
what you
wave
do
your
with your
around.
gun.
Very samurai-ish. I feel like samurais, the idea of the samurai, the idea of the way of the warrior, like you were talking about, is in pop culture. It's been utilized, you know,
Yeah.
wherever there, I don't know, maybe if it's universal to samurai or unique to samurai, but whenever there's been like a code, like a way of, like, where they have to stick to this code, this warrior's code, and it's causes problems for them, but at the same time, they, they have to obey it, and then it ultimately ends up being an honorable thing and stuff, even if they maybe don't win the day. But we're in the armed forces. That's a big thing,
Yeah.
right?
It's a big transfer.
Be selfless to serve a higher purpose. Be honorable in your conduct, even when nobody's looking. That kind of stuff. We're living by a code,
Yeah. You have one thing in here. This is the last thing I want to talk about before we get to our game here, but you put the Wolverine.
Oh yeah.
Why'd you put that in there?
Well,
like the X-Men Wolverine?
Yeah, the Wolverine movie with Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah.
It's the one where he's in Japan.
I didn't even know.
Oh, you didn't even know about this movie?
No.
Dude, it's good. It's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, because the character Wolverine has origins and he has adventures that he does in Japan. Like,
Is
there's
the
a whole-
Wolverine a samurai?
Well, I don't think he ever gets to be a samurai, but like in the movie, the thing of it is, in the movie, there's the nemesis at the very end that he fights, this giant mechanical thing with like the bad guy inside it called the Silver Samurai. But in the comic books, the Silver Samurai I think is actually a guy. He's a samurai with a silver suit of armor. But so that's why it's like in the ish territory of samurai-ish, because like in the movie, it starts off in Japan, right outside Hiroshima, and he's been captured, and then there's another Japanese soldier that's kind of been disgraced and put in there with him in the hole. And when the bomb goes...
No, that's false.
That's false?
False? Chris is calling you out.
Oh, is he the soldier that lets him out, but then he protects him?
Like, so they see the plane coming,
Yeah.
and then all of the officers are doing like seppuku,
Yeah.
and he chickens out, and he runs over, and he's trying to let Wolverine out of the well. It's like a big pit in the ground that he's in, and Wolverine tells him to get in the pit with him because he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
And then he pulls him in.
Yeah, he pulls him in.
You were 100% inaccurate in your description.
I was completely wrong, and I'm so glad that Chris is here to tell me in front of thousands of people how wrong I was. Just like he gave me all those questions that were totally hard with the Star Wars episode. I totally didn't get any of them right except for one. No, that's exactly right. And then he protects the guy with his body. Like,
what did you
shields
say,
him.
Chris? Seppuku?
Seppuku?
Seppuku? Is that where they kill themselves?
Ritual suicide.
Seppuku is ritual suicide. It's like Harry Carey. I think Harry Carey is when you have a second, and like you slice open your belly, and then your second immediately like beheads you. I think that's Harry Carey.
Yeah.
But seppuku is just when you kill yourself.
Just do it yourself.
Interesting.
So it's so
I think
so loose.
I could be as wrong as Israel is all the time.
That's very wrong.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty wrong. I wouldn't want to be called. I would not want to be in that territory.
But yeah, if you haven't, Cameron, if you haven't seen it, I would add that to your very long list of movies to see because it's one of the better Wolverine movies. He has
Really?
a couple solo films.
Yeah, no,
Like,
he has a couple of them.
X-Men
It's
Origins.
directed by James Mangold,
Yes.
who directed Logan, which I think is one of the best superhero movies that's been made. So
Yes.
Wow, strong opinion.
Logan's great.
Yeah.
Logan is amazing.
Logan's great. No, it really is. It stands alone in the.
Even better than the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern.
No,
Well, I
nothing's
mean-
better than that.
That stands alone in a different way.
Yeah, that movie blew.
Stands alone in the trash heap.
Yeah. Well, I think we can get into our game, man. You wanna game it up?
Yeah, man. Do you want to? I see Chris kind of surreptitiously inserted a fan question here. You want to do a quick fan
Oh,
question?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, man. So I'll read this one out. Peter K. Wrote us an email, wants to know, what is your favorite fighting strategy or way of fighting?
Way of fighting, easy, jiu-jitsu.
Have you studied jiu-jitsu? You gotten some jiu-jitsu
A
stuff?
little bit. I would not call myself a subject matter expert. I call myself very amateur. But I understand the importance of jiu-jitsu.
We're talking Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Okay, all right.
I think Brazilian jiu-jitsu is the most superior form of martial arts.
Yeah.
Just for the fact of, it's groundwork. It's like getting someone off their feet, putting them on the ground, takedowns,
And most fights
submissions.
tend to go to the ground anyway.
Yeah, and it's when you go down to the ground, it cuts off a factor of height, weight,
Leverage
speed,
in some
strength,
way.
and all that stuff. When MMA started out, what was his fucking name? Original greatest jiu-jitsu fighter.
Kimbo Slice.
Not Kimbo Slice. Very close though. So when MMA came out, when it was like bare knuckle brawling, literally they would have a master from every single fighting form just go at it.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Oh my god, I'm blanking.
Talking about the South American people, the South American family, the big family in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, the Gracies.
The Gracies. I think it was Gracie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger Gracie, I think maybe.
Oh, there's so many Gracies walking around, man. You can't throw a rock without hitting a Gracie around here.
Yeah, so no, that was cool. I definitely think jiu-jitsu is like the most superior. I mean, there's a reason they teach it in special operations. I think, if you're gonna study a martial art that has like a very effective form and means, jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, right on, man.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, I'd hate to, not like I'm like drafting off of you, but like that is a really good one. I hate to sound like I'm cheating, but like, the ability to be trained with and carry like a weapon, with you, like a gun or something like that. That's like the great equalizer, But apart from that, if you had to go like fist to fist, hand to hand combat, that is the one that I am actually the most familiar with because of my time in the military. Yeah. And then I actually took some classes kind of offline and stuff. I have a lot of respect for Aikido. I just don't know how in real life, how practical it is. Because you got to be real. It's one of those things where you have to be a master for it to be really practically applicable to your life. Like a beginner Aikido person, circumstances have to be like just right in that fight, and you got to be really quick. But I feel like maybe Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is a little more accessible and easy to grasp and quick to pick up. So maybe you might have some, even just down to like basic body awareness, situational awareness when it comes to that, knowing where your body and their body is. Because a lot of fights, they get just real messy and not a lot of people know how to fight or even throw a punch.
No.
I did some kickboxing, and I'm thankful for the Peter Thomas, actually. I used to take his classes and he would train us like with practical combinations and stuff. It wasn't just for like cardio kickboxing or whatever. Yeah. So I feel like I've gained a little more awareness of myself and my surroundings because of that. So that would be like kind of a close second, kickboxing, especially if you can get like with somebody who teaches you like how would it really go down,
Yeah, that's why I'm not a big fan of boxing.
Just boxing with gloves.
I think boxing is a sport. It is not a martial art. I don't think if you study boxing, you are like going to be prepared on the street. I mean, definitely know how to throw a punch. But
maybe against the average person, you might have an advantage.
Yeah, but I think if you put a professional boxer against an amateur jiu-jitsu MMA fighter, that boxer would get the shit kicked out of him.
I wonder.
Yeah, I think so. Because like boxing stance is really, narrow. They're very quick. It's like you're focusing on counters and everything. But like what happens if someone tries to double leg you? And
sure.
Like once you get to the ground, it's kind of hard to throw punches when you like somebody's full mount on top of you or they're working like side control. You're like, okay, what do I do here? Yep. So jiu-jitsu for me. Also, Krav Maga is very interesting. I like that's very military intentions.
Developed by the IDF. The Israeli
literally, the Krav Maga is literally like, how do I kill someone with my bare hands?
Yeah.
It's like it's all cheap spots.
We gotta do some shift fire stuff with that.
We should, man.
Connection. We try to hook up with that guy, maybe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'd be down to do some Krav Maga. I'd be down to do some knife fighting too. That'd be sick. But yeah, all right. That's a good fan question.
Peter?
Thank you for that, Peter.
Hope that answers your question. All right, on to the game.
All right. I don't think I have access to it, so that means
I think Chris.
Chris. Oh, Chris.
It is me.
It is
I
you.
figured my big welcome back would be great if I came in with a game.
I think
Very
that is
perfect.
very
I think
appropriate.
I think it's extremely appropriate.
Very appropriate. All right, so this game is called Live by the Sword, Die by the Sword.
It's like
okay.
live by the Kanye, die by the Kanye.
It's exactly like that. That's actually what it is. I should have just said Kanye. It's
Yeah.
No, it's pretty simple. You just have to tell me if the person I name from pop culture was killed by a sword.
Oh,
Whoa,
okay.
cool. I like that.
Very
Yeah.
interesting. I'm excited.
It's
Do we get a warm up?
It's a delicious slice of fun.
Hey.
I should have said it's a delicious slice of pun, but maybe I'll edit it. I'll figure it out.
That would have
Anyway.
been a pun too far.
Oh, God, don't do that. Don't pile bad pun on bad pun. All right, are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, man.
I'm ready to go.
The six-fingered man. This is the warm-up, okay? The six-fingered man from The Princess Bride.
The six-fingered man from The Princess.
Played by Christopher Guest.
Which one is the six-fingered man?
He's the guy with 6 fingers.
Is that the guy in the tree?
No.
Yeah,
Wait,
I mean, yes.
Yeah, at some point
He's
yeah.
the guy that sucks the life out of Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sword
The
or
really
no sword?
pale-looking dude.
No, that's the helper guy.
Oh, that's the helper.
Oh, my.
Despair. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's killed by a sword.
I agree. He is killed by a sword. Hello, my name is Inigo
100%.
Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Yes, he's killed by, what's his name?
A rapier?
My God. What? No,
A rapier?
it's a sword. I'm just trying to think of the guy's name
Inigo
that kills
Montoya.
him. No, the actor.
Oh, brother.
Mandy Patinkin.
Mandy
There we go.
Patinkin,
Okay.
Yeah, you killed my brother.
Yes, he was killed by a sword. So you get the gist of it.
I
All
get
right,
it.
You ready?
I get it.
So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say the name of the character, and then I'll probably tell you what they were in, because some of these people you probably won't remember. Okay. First one.
Okay.
Bill from Kill Bill.
Bill from Kill Bill. Did she kill him with the sword?
She did not.
She did not. I'm going with
She
Izzy.
killed him with the 5-finger palm of death punch.
Okay, I'm going to go with that. I'm going to trust Izzy.
Took 6 steps and then died. His heart exploded.
That is correct. There was no sword. It was the 5-fingered death palm strike thing.
Break
That she
bricks.
lied about. She's a liar. She said she didn't earn it.
Oh, yeah. So you can't show your hand. That's why you
Yeah,
never
very-
open.
Yeah,
That's why you never open with your 240. Show the enemy what you got.
Exactly. All right. Thulsa Doom from Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, is that the snake guy?
Yep, that's James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones,
the voice
okay.
of Darth Vader.
Yes.
So sword or no sword?
Is it an... I don't think it's a sword. I think it's like an axe or something.
It actually is a sword. It's the broken sword of his family. Yeah.
Is it? Because when he
Because-
turns into a snake, he kills him in snake form, doesn't
Well,
he?
yeah, he's like, "Oh, come and be with me, my son," and they hacks him in the neck, and he falls, and they grabs his hair, he hacks his away, and he takes off his head. Yeah.
Nice.
That is correct.
What is
It is
best
a
in
sword.
life?
It is decapitation.
Decapitation, baby.
Cool, dude.
Crush your enemies, watch them driven before
Yeah.
you, hear the lamentation
Patience
of the women. Oh.
What's best in life?
Very good. You're doing great. This is the anti-Star Wars quiz. Okay.
There you go. Make
Zed.
yourself-
Zed from Pulp Fiction.
Zed's dead,
Zed
honey.
from Pulp Fiction.
Zed's dead.
Which one's Zed?
Zed
Is that the one with the gimp?
Yeah, he's the Gimp. Well, he's not the Gimp, but they're the two dudes.
Yeah.
And he's
No, he blows him up with a shotgun, doesn't he?
No. Remember when Bruce Willis, he gets loose and he sees all of the weapons and he gets like the chainsaw, but then he sees up top
A samurai sword.
samurai sword.
Yes, he
Yep.
does. And yeah, he kills him. And didn't he kill one dude with a shotgun or something like that?
No, I think he like kills one dude, he kills Zed, and then he like stabs the other dude in like maybe the groin area or whatever, or maybe the other dude, maybe Ving Rhames shoots the other dude, but he doesn't kill him because he's like, we're gonna take some dudes and we're gonna make this guy feel what I felt, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel the pain.
This butt raping mother effers.
Yeah.
I can't say any line from that movie without cursing. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
he
what-
kills him with a katana.
So are you saying sword or no sword?
Sword.
No sword.
No sword.
Oh.
Zed is the guy that gets shot with the shotgun, and then Marcellus Wallace says, I'm going to bring in the pipe hitting inwards. I'm going to go medieval on his ass.
Yeah, okay. All right. My bad. You had the shotgun thing.
Okay, man. See, this is what happens when I
He does slice
trust
one
you.
dude, but he doesn't slice Zed.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, Zed was the guy that came after.
Yeah, but he is
and then
dead.
he takes his motorcycle.
Zed's
Oh,
dead.
okay.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Zed's dead, baby.
Yeah,
Zed's
Zed's
dead.
dead, baby.
Okay. Logan/Wolverine in the movie Logan.
Oh, Logan.
Who kills Logan again? He gets shot a bunch of times.
Yeah, but at the very end, he fights the younger clone of himself, and he actually gets thrown onto like a tree stump spike. It's like a piece of wood.
Yeah, it's a piece of
He gets,
wood.
Like, impaled.
Yeah,
man.
impaled on it, and that's where he dies.
Yeah, that's where he dies.
Yeah.
So, no sword.
No sword. Tree
No
tree stump.
sword.
Tree stump.
He was gored by a tree/adamantium poisoning, is what I put.
Oh, yeah. He was being slowly
But-
killed by his adamantium implants.
Yeah.
But you're correct. It was the tree. Great, just tearjerker moment.
Oh,
All right.
man.
Now, this next question, it's Darth Maul from Star Wars. Now, when we say sword, we're including lightsabers. So, Darth Maul, Star Wars, sword or no sword?
Decapitated by Obi-Wan.
No, yes, sword, but he was halved.
He was
sliced in
halved.
half.
I'm sorry. Yeah, he was halved. And when he falls in the pit, surprisingly, didn't see that coming. Like,
I didn't see it coming that he came back.
that he jumped up and
No, he came back. Like Darth Maul came back in the Clone Wars cartoon, and then like even in the Solo movie, you see him. He's there at the end with like robotic legs.
really.
Yep.
So he didn't die.
Didn't die.
Well, I didn't know that.
Wait, so is it a trick question? He doesn't die. I mean, in the movie, yes, he gets cut in half.
It is a trick question.
Oh,
but not in the way you guys are so close. You're hot on the trail, but you're not quite there.
oh,
Well, technically, like if you get sawed in half by a lightsaber, instant cauterize.
yeah, maybe that's why he survived. So he technically did not die, I would say. But like, it's sword, right? It's a lightsaber. A saber is a sword.
Well, no, I'm not asking if he ever got stabbed by a sword. I'm saying he dies at some point in Star Wars canon.
Oh,
and is it a sword that does it, or is it not a sword?
Oh my goodness, that I don't know.
I don't
didn't
know.
He ever died.
I didn't know he was still alive.
He got captured basically in the one of the last seasons of the Clone Wars. But I haven't seen the series. I've only seen clips, so I don't know.
I'm gonna say he lives a great life and dies of old age.
So no sword.
No sword.
It's a sword.
Oh,
It's a lightsaber, and it's. I'm gonna ruin something. Do you want me to spoilers?
yeah. No, go tell me.
Do
man.
it.
It's gonna be a
Okay.
long time.
I
before
don't
get to it,
care.
so.
It's the person that does it is Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it's much later on Tatooine.
Oh, no kidding.
It's a double
You can see
whammy,
that-
huh?
Yeah, you can see that in Star Wars Rebels. It's not in Clone Wars.
Oh, it's in Rebels. Gee whiz.
Why
Wow.
does Mar die so
Hey.
easily again?
That's a deep dive, man. That's a good one.
What time period is Rebels in?
In between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope.
Yeah.
Really?
hmm
Yeah,
It's good. You should check it out if you like Star Wars. If you
I
don't
do.
like Star Wars,
It's a
do not watch it.
cartoon.
Yeah, but it's computer animated like Clone
Oh,
Wars.
that's fine. Yeah, I
Same-
don't mind that. I love the.
same
I
style.
think the Clone Wars is great.
All right, let's keep moving.
Let's
Yeah.
keep. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Ned Stark, Game of Thrones.
Ned Stark,
Sword.
Game of Thrones.
Gets his head chopped off.
Yeah.
That's correct. He's beheaded. Spoilers.
At the
Nice.
sex.
And then Maximus in Gladiator.
Gladiator, Maximus.
I'm going to say no sword because what happens is he gets stabbed with a poison knife. And so he's dead on his feet. He just happens to kill Joaquin Phoenix's character before he dies. But it's poison,
Poison.
that kills him, not the
Poison.
sword.
No sword.
No sword.
That is painfully accurate. That was very good, Izzy. No sword.
Yeah. Some things I
And
remember.
that's it.
Just
That
not
was
it.
the last one.
Right on, man.
Nice.
Thank
That was
you.
great, dude. Way to wake up and real pull up the slack from last one.
Yeah, man. I redeemed
You
myself.
definitely know your swords.
Not in
just
the
not
eyes
your
of any Star Wars
lightsabers.
fans, but you know.
Yeah, right. Well, cool, Chris. Thanks for that awesome game, man. It's nice to have you back.
It's really good to have you back, Chris, man.
I'm good to be back.
Yeah.
I have missed this.
And I'm totally lying. I hate you. Okay. Well, folks, we hope
Whatever, nerd.
Yeah. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast. Listen from your cars, drive safe.
Appreciate you.
Yes. Don't California roll. Do all your stops at red lights, right? Look left, look right. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode just as much as we had making it. Samurais are badass. You know, they're cool for a reason. There's a reason they make so many movies about them.
Have we done a ninja episode yet?
We haven't.
Okay.
It's on
ninja episode coming soon.
It's ninja episode coming soon. More Deadliest Warrior for you. Yeah. But awesome. Shoot us an email if you guys got any awesome ideas or you just want to say what up. Yeah, man, I'm excited for the next episode.
Yeah, we'll see you next week, folks.
Absolutely. Cue music.